So the other day, one of our heroes, and whether you like him or not, one of our heroes, he kind of like made a play for something that there's a lot of interest that we like. You guys may or may not know the Dabbleverse, but Opie Hughes kind of got into it with Stuttering John on Twitter. Now, this is kind of like
we're going back to the O&A
exactly.
stuff. It's kind of in the forefront right now. These things are recent, so we're talking about them. We're not trying to just use it.
This might not be for everybody.
No.
It might be, but this is just a segment
but
that
it just
happens.
happens.
Yeah, it's just relative to us right now because it did happen. Well, Opie went on and he got into it with Stuttering John. And so then he opened the doors to the Dabbleverse. If you don't know what the Dabbleverse is, it's a community that's kind of like, kind of laughs at Stuttering John for being a locale on the internet. He's just a psychopath. I'm telling you, it's not evil. It's more of like just what we were talking about, the ball busting and goofing on a guy that just cannot, he's like the worst broadcaster on the planet. It's just really funny.
He's a fucking goon.
Exactly. It's really funny. But so Opie gets into it with him. And then Opie just kind of like starts having fun with it. And we haven't seen this Opie in a very long time.
And we're excited. We're like vintage
Dude,
Opie.
Exactly.
He's coming back.
Having fun.
So let us make this abundantly clear. Like, we understand the Opie and Anthony dynamic and that Opie has like a lot of neuroses and he has a lot of arrogance and pride about him in general, but we still love the guy.
Yeah.
We grew up with the motherfucker. Like, we loved the material they put out. He was great. He was one of our favorites for years. We want him back.
Yes.
If he could just let some of this ego and some of this weird shit go, we would love for him to come back into the fray. I miss Opie.
Yeah.
So we were all excited that he was going to come back and be vintage. Oh, maybe he let go of some of this crap and he just tanked it. He tanked it.
He dropped the ball. So, and speaking to his point, it's like, I think that people now love Anthony so much that they choose to only remember Opie in a negative light. This dude was really funny at times. He really did have some
He
good
was
job.
great.
He was great.
There was a time where he was great.
He was fucking funny, dude. He had some really good lines.
He was
really
talented
mean.
broadcaster,
exactly.
man. And he understood the game. He understood the nuance. He's a smart guy. Just his own personal character problems destroyed all that. If he could just let that go, Opie, you're still the man, bro. Just let that go.
Yeah.
Forget about all that shit, man.
That thin skin, you are way too successful to have that thin of skin. It's unreal, dude. Seriously. Dude's got a beautiful wife.
Built an empire.
Loads of money. Like, dude, what's wrong? What the fuck is wrong? So, anyways, so I'm like stoked. I'm hitting Nick up. I had wrote something on Twitter. And I look over and I get a notification and my phone buzzes and I look down and it says, Greg Opie Hughes has quote tweeted your comment.
Through the show's account,
Through
by
the
way,
show's account.
Irish
So
Spaghetti.
we're like on top of the world. We're like, dude, not only is our hero retweeting us, boom, this is fantastic.
We're getting acknowledged by the people that we grew up listening to. It's phenomenal,
that
man.
community.
It's
We've
fun for
always
us.
want to be plugged in that community. It's wonderful, great community. So we're all stoked about it. So then Opie's like going off on this tangent and he's funny. He's having fun with it. It's not like serious. It's not mean. Like him and like the stuff that him and Sutter and John were talking. Like you could tell Opie's having a lot of fun with it. I'm like, oh my God, this guy turned the corner.
Yes.
This fucking guy turned the corner. Finally, dude, like let's have fun. Let's have fun.
The prodigal son
has
returned,
baby. He's here.
Kill the fatted calf.
Yes. Boom. So he gets an invite on the Uncle Rico show, and that's Shu Lee and Bob Levy, and that's part of the Sternverse and stuff like that. So now you got all of these like amazing communities coming together. So I guess Shu Lee went on. He's like, "Hey man, why didn't you come on? Tell us what went on with him. Like let's hear it. Like come on, tell your story. Come bullshit with us. It's literally an entire show about bullshit and laughing and fucking around and breaking balls. Like his avenue was perfect.
They have a live feed set up.
Yes.
And there's 10,000 people
waiting for
Opie.
Literally, people in the comments. I seen it with my own two eyes. I was waiting for this. People in the comments going, "Where's Ope? Where's Ope?" Waiting for this guy. Opie is on the other end on his show, broadcasting to 72 people, waiting to ambush this show. Little did I know, but waiting to ambush this show. So everybody's waiting on this one. So we got 10,000 people waiting for him. So little did they know they got 70 people.
So they sent him the invitation link to get into the chat or whatever it is.
And he sends one back to go to his show. So there's confusion now.
Already.
So the producer on that show's like, dude, I don't know what he's doing. He will not click the link. Like he knows what he's doing. Like I've sent him the link 3 times now. He won't click it. He's now sent us the link. So Shuli Egar is like, all right. He's like, fuck it. I'll go on on there, see what the heck he's doing, see what this madman's doing. I don't think so. They're under the impression that they're thinking like they're trying. Okay, well, we're gonna keep all the super chats. He's like, he doesn't get that we're chopping up the super chats, and he also gets to stream it on his channel. All he has to do is click the link, and we got it. So everybody wins. Everybody wins.
Yes.
So we're thinking maybe it's like a financial thing, maybe it's like a term thing, like whatever. So Shuli goes on there. Cool as shit too. He opens the door. He's like, what the hell you doing, man? What are you crazy? He's like, well, everybody's waiting on you, man. He's like, come on, let's go. Like literally being cool. Like everybody,
We're
said it out loud.
excited.
He
Everyone's
said these
excited.
words. Yes, these words, dude. Everybody's waiting on you. And dude, I swear to God, they were. Everybody's waiting on Opie's big return. Everybody's excited. See what he has to say. Opie's first goes, you come on my show. Now, with trying to be as polite as he could, Shuli's like, no, man. He's like, listen, we got a lot of people over there. Basically saying, why the fuck would I turn off a show that has 10,000 live viewers watching to come on to your show that you're broadcasting to a little bit more than a gymnasium?
Also, he was the guest of honor. He wasn't being downplayed. It wasn't like put Opie down for our show. It was we have this great guy coming on our show. He was supposed to be highlighted in this event.
They rolled out the red carpet for this dude.
Yes.
Like his name was in the description, and that's why people were waiting for it.
Yes.
Heavy, bro. Heavy. So I'm sitting there, dude. I swear to God, man. I'm like, what are you doing, man? Get on there. I'm like screaming at my phone out loud.
Were you you were in the feed waiting?
Oh yeah. I was waiting.
Oh, no shit. Okay.
Yeah. And
you
then,
were one of the 10,000.
Exactly. I was number 9,997. So I'm sitting there and I'm waiting for it. And then Opie pulls an Opie. And everything that people criticize him for and call him this thin-skinned bitch and the reason why the Nopi shows were created and the reason why Anthony Cumia is like, this motherfucker's dumb and saying all this shit about him, it all just comes crashing down on you and you're left with one question, one answer. Why? Why would you do this? Is it because
ego.
you're Opie? Is
It's
it just because
ego,
you're
man.
Opie? That's the answer. You're Opie. That's it.
But you are Opie.
Yes.
We know, like, accept that you're Opie. Let us fucking care about you and love you. Let this shit go, man, and come back, bro.
And you know what this fool says to Shuli? He looks in the camera. He looks dead in the fucking camera, and he goes, did you crap on me to Anthony Cumia? And I was telling them earlier, let me translate that for you. You talking smack about me? You talking smack?
Me.
You talking smack about me? And Shuli's like dumbfounded at this point. He's got 10,000 people waiting on this guy. They've been conversating all day. And apparently, I guess Kevin Brennan got to Opie and was like, yeah, you talk shit about you. Who cares, man? Honestly, who fucking cares? If you go on Cumia's show, Opie might get brought up. And it's probably not going to be in a positive light.
Go classic Opie. Do the show for about 20, 30 minutes and then bring it up mid-show and have the conversation like you guys used to do.
Yeah.
That was the best.
You know what, dude? Honestly, that would have been the best.
It would have been the greatest.
Balls. Like, hey, now I got a bone
I've had
to
a
pick
real
with
great
you.
time. Thanks for having me on the show, but I heard this. Is this true? And then go classic Opie.
And then go back
But do
and
it with
forth.
some confidence, man.
Yes.
Don't be a little bitch about it.
Oh, and by the way, speaking about confidence, so Shuli's response, he goes, do you have an example? He's like, are you just going to act like Stuttering John and tell me that I've been doing something without having an example? So you could tell Opie gets a little offended by this. He goes, Stuttering John. You know, he does that. You know, he does that.
Oh,
thing
yeah.
like, where he drags his words like, what are you talking about? You know, and he always does that Opie thing, right? I'm not crazy, right? So he does that.
I know exactly what that is.
Stuttering John. And then he goes, so Shuli's like, literally like, I could tell like this really like bothered him because like they set this whole thing up for him, right? So Shuli goes, you're kind of acting like Stuttering John. Before he could finish his sentence, boom. Screen goes dark. Opie kicks him out.
And this is where like he's deviated from original Opie. He used to be able to stay in the pocket and have the tough conversations.
Dude, those uncomfortable conversations, man.
But he was a gangster.
He was perfect with them. Like the Ralphie May call. I will
I've
never
seen
stop
a
that. It was so
million of them,
uncomfortable.
or listened to a million of them.
Off.
Yes.
Yeah. Really,
Opie.
he was always willing to have it out on these shows, and that's why that was kind of Opie's like deal. Like people say, oh, what'd he do? Anthony wasn't the one that went in there and like really called the motherfucker out. It was Opie that was doing these things, and then Anthony would tag it, and Jimmy would get in there, and then all three of them would just be beautiful, in sync.
Opie was
perfect.
brave.
It was a flow. Opie was brave. Opie would start the shit so these guys could come in and really like say some things.
Mm-hmm.
And
do you remember when they called that radio show Opie and Anthony, they called the other radio show that was talking shit about him on their show and called him out.
Yes.
And Patrice was in the room.
Yes.
And he's like, that was beautiful, Ope. He's like, I love what you just did. Like, he was that guy.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to him, man.
I remember them getting a cease and desist from Howard Stern,
Multiple.
who was crushing careers. I'm talking about a guy that would go into a market with a guy that's been like 30 years, like in Atlanta or Dallas or something like that. And it was like his market. That, you know, Mark and Brian were number one. And he would crush their careers. He would dismantle their entire audience and bring them over to him. This was a guy that was untouchable, and he couldn't fuck with Opie and Anthony. He had to send them a cease and desist to not mention him anymore.
Well, they like blackballed him from all the events, and he wasn't even allowed to be around.
Yes.
Which is, and
they
by
couldn't
the way,
walk the
that's
halls.
an acknowledgement that you're a threat.
Yes.
That's what that is.
That's all it was. Howard Stern knew
He
that
showed
these
his
guys'
weakness.
power was growing.
Yes.
And that's all there was to it. And he knew that he couldn't kill it. He could not slow the momentum of what Opie and Anthony were doing. Their show was wonderful.
How about
this point.
How about this? Greg Opie Hughes, you have an open invitation to come on our show. You can be our first guest caller. When we have an audience and it's worth your time, you're more than welcome to come and chat with us. We would love to have you. Please don't cancel. Have a conversation with us, man. We actually want to bring you back, dude. We miss you.
Yeah.
And I know that we're nobodies. We're nobodies right now. It's fine. One day maybe we'll be somebodies, but this offer stands throughout time.
Yeah. Well, how
It
about
stands.
this? How about this? We
love Anthony Cumio. Like we love O&A. We love all the guys involved in it, but we also love you too, man. We're sad to see you go out this way, if you will.
And who
you're a
knows,
legend, man.
yeah.
You're a legend.
Yeah. And maybe you have a point. Come on here. You have nothing to lose coming on this show. You could come on here and state your case and
We'll
say
be
exactly
reverent, man.
why
We
you
would
did
be
it.
so happy to have you on.
Dude, we respect. Dude, I assure you, anything that we're saying in the ball drop and stuff like that, I'm not saying this because I think Opie's untalented and I'm like, hey, fuck him. I'm saying this because I'm like, dude, why is such a mega talent sullying his entire reputation for some dumb shit?
We're guys who respect you. Just
Bam.
know that.
Exactly. Then that will never change. No matter what moves you make, you're still Opie, dude. Like, what happened? What are you doing?
Yes.
That's fair.
That's
very
damn
fair.
We have the
Absolutely.
ability to take calls. We haven't initiated it yet because there's not enough audience to use it. I'm sure we'll just get trolls. But if you ever wanted to call in, man, and talk your truth and speak your piece, you're welcome to do it on this show.
Hey, what if we brought Opie in and then we're like, is somebody else calling in? And Opie's like, it's Snowy from Michigan.
Snowy. He interrupts
Snowy.
the show to take the call.
On ours,
Snowy
he
from
answers
Michigan.
R from our board. He answers
Snowy's
R.
still around. That's fucking
Would that not be the
hilarious.
fucking funniest
That's
thing?
fucking
We're just in there like, how the fuck are you
Snowy.
saying this? Hold on, guys. Snowy from Michigan. What do you have to say? They're like,
No, hold on. He always does
like,
that.
We're like really riffing, like we're really
Hold
on the
on.
track. And he's like, hold on, Snowy from Michigan. And we're just sitting there like, you know what we do? We shut the fuck up and let him do it. It's like, just like how like Anthony and Jimmy would, they'd have to like stop what they were doing, just listen to
Even
it.
better is if Anthony signs him and it's Snowy and Anthony.
Oh my God, dude, could you imagine?
He just takes him as his co-host. Snowy and Anthony.
Snowy from Michigan.
Hold on. We're not mocking you, Ope. We love you,
No,
man.
God, no. But again, see, you know what? Remember we just said this with all the
Busting
movies and stuff
balls?
like that? Yeah, like why do we need a disclaimer for that? We
don't.
couldn't mock
We
you,
don't.
dude. Look who you are. The reason we're sitting here right now was because of your show.
You guys had a massive impact
exactly,
on us, dude. That's what we're doing.
we grew up with that, man.
Yeah.
Come on now. Wasn't
Yeah.
that good, right?
It was
I think
fantastic.
we were fair, and I think that was cool. Yeah.
So do I.
Yeah, we didn't want to
Come on the show, Ope.
come on the show, Ope. I'm going to send this to you.
I got a third mic just for you, buddy.
Yeah.